There's a wonderful connection between Mike and our next presenter, Sarah. Mike presented this incredibly gorgeous, old-fashioned, traditional kind of building, and our next presenter, Sarah Boisvert, is going to be talking about the most modern and contemporary kind of building we can possibly imagine. She's worked in digital fabrication, including 3D printing and laser micromachining since 1986. And she's the founder of FabLab Hub, which is a nonprofit that helps get MIT-style Fab Labs, which she'll explain to us, started, including one in Maine. Please welcome Sarah.
I'm going to also not use the podium. Fab Labs right now are a really hot topic because 3D printing has come to the forefront, and there's a lot of misconception, a lot of hype, and so my talk will hopefully dispel a lot of the myths that are out there in the mainstream media, and I want to talk about how Fab Labs came about. Dr. Gershenfeld, who's seated in the center of this photograph, is the director of the MIT Center for Bits and Atoms. And his work centers around taking the ones and zeros of computation and turning them into atoms. So we go from bits to bits. And what we basically do is design things on the computer and turn them into fabricated parts. So how is this possible? It can make almost anything. Well, just like the typewriter went to a laptop, craftsmanship is now going onto the computer. And we're able to take a design like my earrings, and design them on a computer and have the machine learn what to do. The other way that a Fab Lab is possible is that it's open source. So the picture on the left is from the Fab Lab on Deer Isle at Haystack, and the one on the right is in Kenya, but both of these are quite similar in that people are helping each other learn what to do, and they're building a repository of skills. The other way it's possible is that the technology has changed. The picture on the left is a laser micromachining system I built for LASIK eye surgery in 1987, and this is what it looks like today. So lots of wires hanging out in those days, and now it's automated. And the last way that a Fab Lab is possible is all the kids are digital natives. So for them, getting on the computer to design something is really not a big deal. And one of the things we're seeing is younger and younger kids able to kind of bridge this world of fabrication and getting involved in making things, which really has become a lost art. But the thing that really gets me going is people say I have a Fab Lab because I have a 3D printer. And a 3D printer alone does not make a Fab Lab. And there are many different kinds of technologies in the Fab Lab, and what they have in common is this digital fabrication. So a CAD file, which is a computer-aided design file, a mechanical drawing that you do on the computer on the left, is actually the brains of the machine. And you take that design and it either tells a router or a milling machine or a laser cutter or a 3D printer what to do to make a part like the one on the right. This one happens to be 3D printed, but it doesn't have to be. So a Fab Lab has laser cutters and markers. So these masks were made at the Fab Lab in Providence on the left with a CO2 laser, and the QR code was created, laser engraved on a pet tag, and this goes to your Facebook page, so you have all the information about your pet, including not just your address, but whether they like kids or not, and whether they're dangerous. Of course, Fab Labs have 3D printers, and this is a example of a robotic hand that was developed for a child in South Africa who had lost his hand, and the hand is 3D printed and combined with some microelectronics in order to make him mobile. We do things in the Fab Lab with 3D printing, like taking Minecraft, which any of you have children know is a software program that you use to create worlds, and what we can do is take that world and we can make it 3D and we can print it out and actually go outside and play with it instead of sitting in our computers. We also have 3D scanners in the Fab Lab, and this is a photograph on the left that we were able to 3D print this little model of this cute little boy. If it had been the whole body and had legs, of course it would have the whole body. For this one, we just had a half of a child. It's not as easy as the press would tell you. This is a really complex process, but you can do it. And in the FabLab, we combine technologies. So we're not just using 3D printing, but we might be, like in this case, combining it with Arduinos, which are programmable chips that we used for Halloween to make these other kinds of games and costume enhancements, like the Star Trek badge. So Fab Labs have a number of different models, and in the nonprofit world, they might be in a community center. This picture is the main Fab Lab, which I helped start in Biddeford. On the right is MC Squared, which is a high school in Cleveland. That's an extraordinary Fab Lab site. But what Dr. Gershenfeld says is that the real strength of a Fab Lab is not in the technology, it's social. And this is a picture from the second Fab Lab, probably around the year 2000. It's in rural India. And this group worked on water purification systems and on building houses using the Fab Lab technologies. So we don't do STEM. Our idea is STEAM, where we add the arts, not just visual arts, but also the liberal arts. And what we found at MC Squared High School is that their reading standardized test scores had huge increases when they got a Fab Lab. So what are the benefits to our community? In Maine, we can foster innovation across industries. So if it's a lobsterman with an idea for a better trap, you can come into a Fab Lab and help design something. This happens to be done by Charles Duvall on Route 90 in Rockland, this is a movable screen. One of the other benefits to Maine is developing a 21st century workforce. This is the machine that actually printed my earrings. And this kind of hands-on experience with these new kinds of digital technologies that the President talked about in the State of the Union address are really going to be essential for our young people to get jobs. And one of the others is to foster creativity and to get kids out there actually doing things with their hands. So this is from a 3D printing show that I curated at the Landing Gallery in Rockland. This is the winning piece that was from an artist in Belgium who was actually Dutch. And I don't know how else you would do that. I could talk for 2 days about this topic, so because it's a very complex topic, and so if you would like more information, the FabLab Hub is a nonprofit that helps start Fab Labs, and I work with Dr. Gershenfeld. But I also have a commercial Fab Lab where we can make prototypes or build things with Charles Duvall in Rockland. Thank you.